While I'm terrible at Mega Man games, I can certainly say with the Legends I am mostly competent. Mostly. But is this spin-off of the series actually worth $6 on the PlayStation Network? You star as Tron Bonne, accompanied by the Servbots, which I now just realized look like the minions from Despicable Me a bit. They're less annoying and much cuter, however. Her brother, Teasel, ends up kidnapped by a man named Glide after failing to pay off a loan from a guy named Mr. Loath, who is even more over-the-top villainous than the Bonne family. How much did he borrow?
$1 million.
With only Tron Bonne and her Servbots around, she embarks on an adventure to earn $1 million through honest means, which involves stealing food and selling it, spelunking in dangerous ruins, and of course, robbing banks. Hey, it's for a noble cause! Kinda, sorta, maybe. Despite playing as a villainous character, Tron is surprisingly likable, as she generally does help others during some quests, or at the very least, cares about them. To an extent. The Bonne family have always been the Team Rocket of the Legends series, and one of the more enjoyable cast members to boot. And the Servbots are delightfully cute as well. The story is simply fun, not even attempting to be too deep or serious, and since the game takes place before Legends, it's a nice jumping on point for newcomers. And then they'll get pissed off that we don't have a Mega Man Legends 3. Despite being made in the PS1 era, the game looks pretty good, having nice and bright colors with good animations for the characters. The only real problem is with the voice acting, which ranges from passable and cute like with the Servbots to Loath himself. Still, at least the game has an upbeat and good soundtrack too. Unfortunately, the gameplay has not aged terribly well. There are 3 modes: using Tron's main robot to blow crap up, a tank mode made for puzzle solving, and a mini-robot for the first-person dungeons. The latter 2 are easy enough to control, and problems only really come in trying to solve any puzzles. The first-person dungeons allow you to bring 3 Servbots to solve some puzzles, and get through some areas using timing, and also try and defeat giant Reaverbots using more of your wit, as opposed to brute force, considering that you are just a tiny robot with no gun. Despite some annoying slowness, it works fairly well. Puzzles are self-explanatory, but the idea is to get all the crates, and if you're really clever, get all the bonus crates for more cash. The main combat, however, like blowing stuff up with the giant robot, doesn't really have the best controls, mainly because you cannot lock on and move precisely at the same time. But it still allows you to move around freely, though don't expect much in terms of exploration. Your objective is usually just robbing a bank or gathering animals for money, only to face a boss at the end, or going through an optional dungeon to gain extra cash and face even more annoying enemies. I hate these stupid sand snakes so damn much. Stop running and let me kill you already! Remember how in Mega Man Legends that you could create and customize a number of interesting weapons in addition to your standard Mega Buster? Unfortunately, Tron only has the use of a single weapon at a time, and her Servbots. Servbots can actually really lay out the damage depending on their stats and abilities, as I learned later on. This also depends on who you assign to be the sniper/pilot, otherwise enemies will take freaking forever to kill, adding more frustration. But because they constantly need to be told what to do, this will result in you getting hit a lot, especially against mobile or multiple enemies at once. Even being thrown by a police officer will be freaking common, and enemies will pound you relentlessly, making it harder to gain your bearings, especially with the camera. This was the most frustrating in an extra boss battle that has little wiggle room to dodge and is overall a pain in my ass. But the main story was simple by comparison. Despite getting hit a lot though, it can be hard to actually die, because you can forge a large amount of health items. Servbots can also be upgraded through doing minigames, though these quickly became frustrating early on, and are otherwise unnecessary as Tron is capable of handling herself without too many Servbot upgrades. The final verdict for the Misadventures of Tron Bonne is... check it out. If you like cute and stupid and can play it on the PSN, then it might be a good time. Just be aware of the controls though. I'm the smartest moron, and oh thank god I never bought this game physically online.